This is Daily Armenia, ＣivilNet's daily news digest. Here's what's making headlines in Armenia today. For the first time since the breakup of the Soviet Union, a freight train from Russia arrived in Armenia yesterday, traveling through Azerbaijani and Georgian territory. The shipment, which carried Russian wheat grain, marked the reopening of the long-dormant transport route after Azerbaijan lifted decades-long restrictions on the transit of goods to Armenia last month. The lifting of restrictions on cargo transportation to Armenia is an important step from Azerbaijan toward restoring regional communications and promoting economic cooperation. It is one of the practical implementations of the agreements reached in Washington, contributing to peace established between Armenia and Azerbaijan. The move is also particularly important in the context of strengthening mutual trust and advancing the peace agenda, the Armenian government said in a statement today. Alexei Overchuk, Russian Deputy Prime Minister, also welcomed the reopening of the railway connection, calling it a contribution to peace in the Caucasus. "We welcome the start of railway communication," he said. Railway logistics in the South Caucasus remain highly complicated. During the Soviet era, Armenia had direct rail links with Azerbaijan, but those connections were severed after the outbreak of the conflict in the 1990s. Rebuilding them would require significant investment and time. Both Armenia and Azerbaijan still have functioning rail ties with Georgia, but Georgia's own route to Russia runs through Abkhazia, a territory Tbilisi lost control of in the early 1990s. As a result, Armenia currently relies on a single land corridor to exchange goods with Russia, the Opolaz checkpoint on the Georgian-Russian border. The crossing is frequently disrupted by harsh weather and heavy traffic, causing long delays. While Russia is Armenia's main trading partner, Moscow has repeatedly used arbitrary import restrictions as political pressure, temporarily blocking Armenian products. In recent weeks, Armenian truck drivers have faced additional challenges due to tighter Russian migration rules. Dozens have reportedly been deported and banned from entering Russia for up to 10 years, triggering protests by long-haul drivers in Yerevan. Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan today responded to Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev's recent revisionist statement about the naming of Lake Sevan, saying that drawing conclusions from old maps is pointless. Earlier this week, Aliyev claimed that the place names of the territories of Armenia on Russian maps of the early 20th century are mainly Azerbaijani, adding that there is no Lake Sevan there, but there is Lake Gokcha. Speaking to reporters in Yerevan, Pashinyan dismissed the comment, noting that Aliyev had not specified which map he was referring to. If it's true, that could be bad news for Armenia, but twice as bad for Azerbaijan if it turns out that the word Armenia was on the map and Azerbaijan was not, he said. The Prime Minister added that invoking historical maps serves no purpose, especially after the two countries formally agreed to pursue peace in Washington. This was the first time Aliyev had used such rhetoric since the August 8th summit, after which he had temporarily refrained from historical claims. Prior to that, the Azerbaijani leader often referred to Armenia as historic Azerbaijani lands, part of a broader state narrative aimed at redefining regional history. Azerbaijan has a long record of promoting historical revisionism for political purposes, including assigning non-historical Azerbaijani names to places in Armenia, distorting the region's history, and funding irredentist groups advocating the return of Azerbaijanis to the areas in Armenia that they inhabited during the Soviet period. And finally, the CivilNet number of the day is 332 million. That's the amount, in dollars, Armenia is planning to spend on introducing universal healthcare insurance next year, a long-anticipated reform. The insurance will be first introduced for the elderly and minors, and will gradually cover all citizens by the end of 2028. In an interview with CivilNet last month, Armenia's Finance Minister Vahe Hovhannisyan said that the Health Ministry will receive the largest share of the state budget next year, as the government is eager to invest heavily to make sure the universal insurance system does not fail after several years. And as always, please follow CivilNet for the latest news and independent reporting from our contributors on the ground here in Armenia.